Hello, Amber. How are you,
How-
sweetheart?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I've had a busy day today. So there's no stopping in the name of me. That's how my life goes. I mean, every time I see your stories, it's like a never-ending story. It's always some sort of episode going on, and it's always entertaining every time I watch it.
It's like a vlog, but it's just in little bits.
Yeah, it's compartmentalized in different segments. So you'll have like one episode where I think the other day you were like mixing up some sort of concoction in a blender or something,
Yeah,
and then another one was I don't know. It's just like you said something about your eyes as well at one point. And then
yeah.
recently I saw something about you having a kebab and it didn't agree with you at all.
This was last night. It did not agree with me at all. I should not be eating kebabs anyway. But I think because I'm in camp and I'm eating healthy, when I ate something really greasy, my body was just like, reject, reject. So I threw up. I had really bad tummy ache. I honestly thought at some point I was going to, that's my dog, sorry. I
Oh,
thought
God
at some
bless.
I was gonna shit myself, but I didn't. So that's all good.
So
Okay,
so who's this lovely little fella you got here?
this is Dougie.
Actually, I
he's my
saw your story. Didn't you find it was he like a stray?
he's a rescue from the RSPCA.
Oh, God bless him, man.
Yeah, I think he looks like Scooby Doo, but he's actually a husky.
He's beautiful, man. Like, so how did you come across him then? Like when you went to the
I saw him.
RSPCA?
I saw him on Facebook. I've got two dogs. The other one's on my feet at the minute, but she's from the RSPCA as well. But they post on Facebook when they get new dogs, and I saw this one, and I weren't actually looking for a new dog, but when I saw him and his big ears, I was like, oh, how can I not have him? But we
Oh,
get like not prioritized, but because we've had a dog from there before, they know that we obviously are good owners, so we ended up getting him when he had loads of interest, obviously, because he's puppy and he's beautiful. But we were lucky; we got him in the bag. He's
how
actually like as we speak.
what's his name?
Dougie,
Oh, Dougie. And how old is he?
yeah, he's 18 weeks.
Oh my
I don't know how old
goodness.
that is in months, like 4 months, 5 months or something.
That's around
He's
about
massive.
that's just over 4 months, yeah.
Yeah, he's bloody massive as well. So he's going to be an absolute unit.
Oh, I'm a dog person myself. I mean, like my West Yorkshire Terrier is with my mum at the moment. So,
Yeah.
but I had a Akita and a West Yorkshire Terrier,
Oh.
but two different dynamics. But they do get at each other especially when it comes to food as well.
Oh, definitely. Mine scrap all the time, honestly. Well, they're always fighting each other in a playful way, but they're just always going at each other. I'm actually trying to separate them on the table now. I've
So,
got like my arms back here trying to separate because I
so,
know he's gonna start humping her, and then she's gonna
oh
get cross,
gosh,
and she's gonna start barking, and then it's gonna ruin all the audio.
oh
So
gosh.
my arms on the table are like, stop.
That'll be probably just the title of this interview, like dog scraps during the interview.
Dog humps aggressively during interview.
Oh, crazy, man. But I mean, how are you in general? Like, obviously, we were supposed to have like the doubling course of the leg earlier, but obviously now it's been pushed forward to July. How's everything
Yeah,
for you in general? Like, how you been like managing to, balance the training as well as doing your own stuff?
it's been busy. Like it's been like I just always have things to do.
Mm.
Like today, I was on a content. This is my other dog.
Oh,
I always have things to do. Obviously, I've just got a puppy, which was probably a bad choice, but I just got a puppy. I've just been on a content weekend. I've been training all week. So it's like every day is just absolutely chaotic. So yeah, it's been wild, but it's fun. Like I'm having a great time whilst doing it. So I'm quite happy that the Dublin was moved, to be fair, because like if it was meant to be literally like in 2 days, and I would definitely not be ready. I've been a bit not slack, but I think because I knew it had been pushed back, I've kind of not been training as intensely because I knew I had maybe a few
Because you've
more
had more
weeks.
time to kind of process life as well as be able to do boxing at the same time.
Precisely.
It,
So yeah, I'm going on holiday literally next week because I was meant to go on holiday after the Dublin fight. Obviously, they've moved it. So now my holiday falls like in the middle of camp, which is a little bit annoying, but I'm going to a fitness hotel, so I am still gonna be training when I'm over there. But yeah, it kind of fell a bit awkward, but I still think it'll be good, so I'm excited.
So, I mean, take me through, like, I mean, obviously, I've been speaking to you, like, from different periods, especially, like, within the first, like, with fight week in general. I mean,
Yeah.
take me through, like, how how you've been processing everything from, like, the first open workout to then your fight against Emily. You
Yeah.
know, take me through all the process and then and then obviously, like, with your fight with Emily, like, how do you reflect on it now that you've had a chance to, like, look back on it?
Well, the whole week, the fight week was just mental. Like from start to finish, it was every day was so busy. Like you had the open workout, the press conference, the weigh in, the ceremonial weigh in. Like there was literally something to do all the time. Like you were having photos, media stuff, videos, literally everything was being done. So it was an absolutely crazy week, but it's one I'll remember forever. Like the experience was great. As opposed to the fight, like I was so happy, so in the zone, like the whole of the fight week and the build up. And then even the day of the fight, I was in such good spirits and I was really excited and I wasn't nervous at all. And then literally, I think it was literally like half an hour before I was meant to go out. My coach described it as it was like you'd been on drugs and then the drugs just stopped. And I went from
Yeah.
being happy and excited to just terrified. And didn't want to talk to anyone. Like I just didn't want to talk to anyone. I was in my own little bubble, and I was feeling dead scared. And then I went out. Obviously, I was absolutely petrified, mate. Honestly, that ring walk was possibly the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. Because I think at that point as well, I didn't know how people were going to react to me. Like
Mm.
I didn't know whether people preferred Emily, whether people preferred me. And I didn't
Mm.
know, am I going to get booed? Am I going to walk out? Is it going to be terrifying? But I actually got a really good reception, to be fair. Like when I walked
Mm.
out, everyone was cheering and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then there were just like a massive, overwhelming sense of shit, like I'm just about to do this now and I really need to put it all out there. And after reflecting on the fight now, I don't think I did that. Like I had a really good jab, and I was doing quite a good job of staying out the way.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I think I stayed out the way too much. I was very much like, I mean, I fight on the back foot anyway,
Mm.
but she was coming at me with some unorthodox kind of shots. Like she weren't windmilling, but her punches were coming from the side, and I've never sparred with anyone that fights like that, so I did find them shots a bit hard to defend because I'd never been on the receiving end of one. But
Mm.
um, I did the best that I could have done in that situation. Obviously, my first time out, I was the first fighter out, so it was just a terrifying experience. But I'm glad I've got it out the way, and I've done my first fight now, and I know the next time will be much better. So
Mm.
I'm really excited for Dublin, and as well, obviously, I'm Irish. So, well, I'm obviously not Irish, but like I've got Irish heritage. My family are Irish, so
Right.
I'm hoping to get some Irish supporters behind me, and Dublin's going to be really, really good. But yeah, on reflection of the fight with Emily, I just felt like I was just trying to stay out of the way. I was trying not
Mm.
to get hit, which was good and it was working. But sometimes, like I was hitting her with a jab, a really solid jab, and I wasn't following it up. And when I watch it back, I can see that now, and I won't make that mistake again. But yeah, it was ever so fun. Like I remember getting out of the ring, and I said to my coach, "I don't ever want to do that ever again." And he was like, "You don't mean that. It's just because you've just finished it, and it was scary." He was like, "Give yourself like a day or two, and you'll come round." I was like, "No, I won't. I hate it." And then literally, I don't think I went to sleep until like 4 in the morning. And then at 4 in the morning, I was like, I can't wait for the next one. I'm really excited. And he was like, I told you, come round.
It's like I'm so excited and I just can't
Yeah,
hide it. You know the
literally.
ones there for real. Did you
But
get to?
I think, Go
No,
on.
go on. No. Go. Carry on.
I was gonna say, I think the one with Whitney will be really fun because like Whitney fights quite similar to me. She's quite technical, like she throws proper punches. So I think like I just think she will be better for me to fight. And I think it'll just be a really good pairing for both of us. So
Mm.
I am really excited for this one, to be fair.
So reflecting on the fight with Emily, like obviously you said that you was on the back foot, you were pulling back a lot. In terms of like having watched back, have you watched back the fight?
Yeah, I have.
So in terms of like improvements, without giving too much away, I guess like how do you feel within yourself that your performance there is going to be different to your performance with Whitney Johns coming up?
I just feel like I need to up my aggression, like
Mm.
because I just felt like I didn't have that fire in my belly that I needed to have, and Emily did have that. And I feel like her aggression and her pushing forward and her throwing more shots, even though I threw the better shots and I threw the more accurate shots, like every shot I landed, like every jab I landed on her, threw her head back, and like it really, like every shot that I landed, especially in the later rounds, was like a really clean shot.
Mm.
Whereas I do think you could distinguish the fact that I was a better boxer than she was, but she was a brawler and she came out aggressive, attacking, and in the eyes of the judges, that's what they're looking for. So in the next one, I'm going to remain how I am. I'm going to keep my technique and stuff, but I just need to have that bit more aggression and like not be afraid to follow up with my shots.
Mm.
Because I think as well, like I was just constantly trying to not get hit. But I know I can take a shot, and I know I've got a really good chin. So there really is no reason for me to not be more aggressive and more open to rushing and going in, because I know I can take a punch if I get landed on. So I just think next one will be much better. I've learned from my mistakes. I've got the first one over and done with. The nerves hopefully aren't going to be as intense as they were last time. So fingers crossed, next time I walk out, I'll just feel 10 times better.
Well, I have to personally thank you and Emily, and the reason why I say that is because during the whole week, like obviously the weigh-in in particular. Now, obviously, there was a lot of media that were covering it, and obviously there would have been different perspectives, different angles, and things like that. So there would have been different ways of it being seen. And I thought mine was no different. And when I uploaded it, it was like under 1,000 hits within the first couple of days. I was just like, all right, cool, no worries. And I didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, the subscriber count was starting to go up and up and up and up. And I think, what's going on here? Because I haven't watched back the content in a while. So I've gone back now, and it's gone up and up and up and up so much that we're almost closing into 1 million views on
Which
your
video was that?
on the weigh-in. Like on the channel
Oh,
for the weigh-in
yeah.
for you and Emily, the comments were just going off.
Really?
I was and it's actually our first. If we draw to 1 million, it will be our first million on the channel. Full stop. So I have to personally thank you and Emily for it, because I know on the Kingpyn TikTok, I think it drew way over that, like, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I think on combined with Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, it nearly hit 30 million. Like it went viral. Like it was
Wow.
crazy. I think it got nearly 20 million on Instagram, and last time I checked, which was like a month ago, it had like 6 million on TikTok. But it went proper viral. But like even other like platforms that were
Yeah.
other like pages that were sharing it, it were
Mm.
going viral on every single page. Honestly, I were getting so many followers. I think I gained 60k followers in the space of 4 days on Instagram. It was
Wow.
absolutely insane. Like every time I refreshed, there were just loads and loads and loads and loads coming in. It was
Yeah.
absolutely mental.
Because literally, like the comments coming in. I mean, a lot of people were, were commenting on both yours and Emily's
Only
outfits.
fans sluts. What
Uh,
they do?
I mean, there was some OF comments. There was some there was appreciation for both of you in terms of the way you look. The outfits especially. There was one Men of Culture Assemble or something like that. And I just thinking to myself, when it came to the weigh-in outfit, was that pre-planned, or was it just something that you went out there and just did anyway?
Well, I took inspiration from Ebony Bridges because she always wears lingerie when she goes to her weigh-ins, and she always looks banging. And I just thought it was quite a common practice now to wear lingerie, like women wearing lingerie. But I was the only one in lingerie. Everybody else had like bikinis on or like crop tops and shorts and stuff. So I was the only one. And I didn't think I was going to be. I thought everybody was going to have lingerie on, to be fair. But I had like 3 outfits planned, and I said before I went out, I was trying them on, and I was saying to my coach, like, which one do you think? And to be fair, we just went for the orange one because it was the least see-through one that I had. So I went out in it, and literally everyone just fucking loved it. Everyone went wild for it, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy."
Clearly, because it was across the board in terms of people liking it and people not liking it as well, because it was just like,
Yeah,
has this what the sport of boxing has come to and stuff like
it's
that.
come
But
to,
but
yeah,
I
so
have
many.
seen but I have seen like Ebony Bridges weigh in one time, so I could see where the inspiration came from that. But how many views that got, like just on our end alone, I thought, like, wow, like
Crazy.
you guys kind of had I don't know whether you fully, like, you got both fully planned it to be this way, but it just seemed like everyone was paying attention and just went like, you know what I mean? It was nuts. So, but
So
again,
we were
thank you
told
both.
before, well, you're welcome. And hopefully next time, next weigh-in, I'll get you another viral moment. So when the camera's ready,
Yeah,
I've got a lot
I'll
of expectations on my shoulders now that I've got to go
no,
viral again.
no, no. But I think it's just as important just to, remain you and not have any too high expectations of what you're thinking. But
Oh,
I mean, it
definitely.
was just a moment that that will, that's lasted. So, but again, thank
I
you.
was
So,
talking to my manager and he was like, I think at this rate, every weigh-in, we're going to have to just wear less clothing. It was
oh
like, come
god,
the last one, we'll just be in body paint or tape or something. I was
oh
like, whoa,
gosh.
now we're going too far.
Yeah, I mean, some
I
bits
was
might
like,
have to
is
be
this
bleeped.
for everybody's benefit or for your benefit?
So I mean, talking about Whitney Johns, then, so obviously you would have seen her fight with Barbie.
Yeah.
Did you get to see her fight, and how do you think that you will play the game in terms of how you'll be able to work with her? Because obviously, like, she's got a really good guard, she's got a really good stances, and able to go through as well. But obviously, with the knockdown that she received from Barbie as well. But obviously, the positive ends is that she really can hold her own as a fighter.
Oh, definitely. And obviously she's very tall. I think she's either 5'9" or 5'10". I'm 5'4", so she is a fair bit bigger than me as well. I didn't get to see the full fight because she was straight on after me, and I was seeing like the medical team and stuff. So I think I only saw like half of it.
Mm.
Um, but she's obviously got a chin because Barbie was cracking at her and she was just eating them, and she was doing really well, to be fair.
Mm.
But yeah, she's very very technical, and whilst I do think yes that's going to cause me a few problems, I also think it's going to suit me better than the fight that Emily did, because like I said, windmills and stuff, I was just had no idea how to counter or defend that, whereas straight shots, like actual boxing punches, I will be able to have a bit more defense. So I just think the fight is going to be good. Me and Whitney really like each other. Like, there's no beef, there's no fake beef. And I think as well, like, this is going to just really work in both of our favors because there's no pressure on our shoulders. Like
Mm.
with Emily, obviously we created this like this relationship between us that it constantly felt like there was heat there. With Whitney, like, there's none of that. Like, this it's not in any of our natures to be like that. So we both agreed, like, we'd rather just keep it as friendly fire. I really like you, you really like me. Let's just put on a good show and just go and fight. So I do think it's going to be good because there's not going to be any pressure to, oh, I've actually got to go out there and knock her out now because she's mugged me off on Twitter or she's mugged me off on Instagram. It's just, you can fight, I can fight. Let's put on a good show and make people happy. Like, that's all it's going to be. So I'm excited for it. I really am, to be fair.
And then, if you win against Whitney Johns, who would that lead? Who would that lead for you in terms of like the final set, which would be in London? Well, I don't know if it's in London now. It might be changed, but do you know who you might be potentially facing? Should it be when we get to that point?
So, regardless of win or lose, I will fight the winner or loser of Ola versus Daniela. So whoever
Okay.
loses that, if I lose that fight, I will fight whoever loses the Ola Daniela fight. If I win this fight, I will fight the winner of the Ola Daniela fight. So that's how it will go. And then I think all 8 of the women will be then ranked. I don't know how the ranking works, but we'll be
Mm.
ranked 1 to 8. And that will be our pound for pound ranking. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't really know how it works, but I think I mean everyone's tall as shit. So anyone that I have to fight from now
Mm.
on is going to be tall, a lot taller than I am. I'm the smallest out of everybody. But yeah, I'm excited. Like I think anyone that I get now, I'm happy to fight.
Because it's interesting you say that, because obviously Elbrook, has had a fair share of tall opponents. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, you would have seen the idea of how, that is still a possibility in terms of, like, it doesn't matter if you're tall or small, like it's,
Okay.
it's the ability to really bring it. So I guess for you, it's like you're not really looking at it as, oh, she's really tall. How am I going to overcome it? I guess you're thinking it's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's good. It's gonna. I'll find ways to make it work for myself anyway.
I mean, at the end of the day, like you can take 1,000 shots to the face, but if you land one solid shot to the body in the right place, your body physically can't carry on. Like for example, if you get hit with a left hook, like to your side, you're absolutely written off. Your legs will just switch off,
Mm,
and it's you can't help that. It just will. So being tall, like me being smaller, fighting taller opponents, just take them out by the body.
mm.
So that's going to be my game plan for whoever I get.
So who do you think will win the tournament, both on the men's side and on the women's side for you?
You know what? I watched Barbie and Whitney, and whilst I don't think Barbie has much boxing technique at all, she's just absolutely massive. Like, and her punches, like, they just land with such a crack that I just think out of all the girls, she is definitely the hardest hitter for sure. And I think, anyone that gets on the receiving end of that is going to face some problems. But again, Julie Pocker, she's the same. Like again, very stocky, very muscular. So her shots have a lot of power behind it. I honestly don't think Elle's going to win it. I know she's the favorite, but I think she's the favorite because she's had so many fights. Obviously, I'm not taking anything away from Elle. Elle's brilliant, but I really do think Julie will give her a run for her money in this next fight, and I do think the final could possibly be Barbie and Julie.
Okay, so that's a hard prediction already. So you're saying that those
Yeah,
two are likely to be the final from your opinion, for what you're saying.
I think so. I don't think Emily will get past Barbie. Definitely not. I mean, I hit her with. I don't consider my jab to be my hardest punch at all. Yet every time I hit her with it, her head snaps back. I guarantee Barbie hits a lot harder than I do. So if she can't take a jab from me, she's not going to be able to take one from Barbie. So I do think Barbie's uppercut is just a fatality waiting to happen because that's just a mega punch, isn't it? So I don't think Emily will get past Barbie, and I think Julie and Elle will be an absolutely solid fight. I actually can't call it. I do think Julie might win, but I think the whole fight will be close, very close, unless there's a knockout.
Okay, and what about the men's side?
Men's side, you know what? I was so rooting for Tom
I
Zanetti,
remember we
and
talked about this.
yeah, like I was so rooting for him, and Jarvis was insane. Like I was so impressed by Jarvis, and like even though he knocked Tom out of the tournament, I was still like so impressed with him. So I'd like to see Jarvis win. I like Jarvis as well. He's really nice. I've spoke to him a couple of times backstage, and he's lovely. Um, Other than that, who is but Nunez? He's just another level. I is he fighting Kenny next? Isn't
Yes,
he?
he is.
Going to be a fantastic fight, and I can't call that one at all. I don't know who's going to win that, but that will be a great fight. And then Jarvis is fighting
Yeah, he's fighting Gib.
Gib. Yes, Gib again. Two great fights. Like what a great semi final. That's going to
Yeah,
be mega. I
I
can't
mean,
even call that. I can't.
Yeah, it's. I mean, as the tournament goes on, it's more like with the fighters that are drawn together. It's just like who do you see win? It's just like it's just exciting fights for
Literally,
them. Yeah.
like all four of those men could win it. Like realistically, all
Yeah.
four of those could win it. So
To-
picking is very tough. But I'm rooting for Jarvis. You know, I like Jarvis a lot, and I am rooting for him. But I do think it's going to be tough for all four of them. To be fair, I
okay.
really do.
Okay. I mean, switching gears quickly for the Misfit side of things. Did you see everything that was going around with Misfit 7?
I saw most of it. I was at a Eurovision party when it
Oh,
was on. So
okay.
I was sat in, it's actually my coach's Eurovision party. So he has a bar in his garden, and I was sat being very antisocial, sat in a corner with it on my phone. But people kept talking to me, and I felt like saying, please fuck off and leave me to watch the boxing, but I couldn't. So every now and again, I had to put my phone down for a
Yeah,
bit.
you had
So
to kind of
I
balance it. Yeah.
had to be social, bloody hell. But yeah, I watched most of it. I watched KSI's. I watched that guy that got knocked out. I can't remember his name. If you tell me his name, I'll
Oh, Joe
remember it. But
Fournier.
no, it was a different fight. He got knocked
Oh,
out by an
DK
uncle.
Money versus Virus.
That's the one. I
That
watched
was a
that.
nasty
That
knockout.
yeah, it was like it just came out of nowhere. I was just watching it like normal, and then I was just like, wow. Well, that was mega. The women, I watched a little bit of that. Is it Tennessee?
Tennessee and Paige Keiki, yeah.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that, but I think I only got the first round. And I did watch the other one as well. I can't remember their names either.
Oh, what? Lil Kimchi versus Lil
Brilliant.
Belzy.
That's the one. Yeah, I watched that one. That was good as well. I thought Belzy did really well. She was quite impressive. But yeah, it was good. I didn't watch is it Boogie versus I don't know, the big guys.
Wings of Redemption versus Boogie. Yeah,
Yeah. I still
that
haven't
was on the
seen that one.
prelims. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to watch that and I missed it. And then I still haven't watched it back, so I need to watch that. But yeah, I did watch all of the other fights after that.
Was there anyone? If we talk about the women particularly, was there anyone that
Mm-hmm.
impressed you from what you did see? And would there be anyone that you would like to shop it in with?
Well, I thought to be fair, all the girls I watched were really good. I thought Tennessee was really good, and I do think she probably should have won from what I saw. But no, not taking any credit away from Paige Keiki, I think is her name, because she was also really good. But I don't know. After I've done this tournament, I'm gonna drop in weight because I do not suit this weight category at all. Like it's way too heavy for me. I naturally am a lot lighter, and like I've had to eat a lot and gain weight to even
To
be in
bulk
the
up,
weight
yeah.
class. Yeah, literally bulk season. But yeah, so after this tournament, I'm hoping to drop weight. So I don't know if any of those would be in the weight category that I'll be in, but I think my weight category will probably be around similar to what Astrid Wett is
I
because
was actually gonna ask about Astrid, but yeah, go on.
but yeah, I just don't feel comfortable at this weight. Like I think the day of the fight, I mean the weight class is 133 to 140 pounds. I was like 127, and like I was way under. So for the weigh in, I had to go and have two breakfasts. I had to neck a liter of water to even just make weight. And then I did make weight solidly as well. I made weight. I was like 136, and I was like, "How have I put 9 pounds on in the space of like an hour
Oh,
this
I
morning?"
saw your I saw your story on that. You was by yourself at the time, and you were just like you made weight, and I think it was like just
Eating.
a couple of more. You was eating a little bit more just to get the weight on right.
Yeah, literally. I had a breakfast. I think I had like scrambled egg on toast with avocado, and then like they had continental as well. So I was like eating yogurt, little muffins, everything, like just completely scranning and necking water and tea, so that I was a bit heavier. I had to hold in all my wheeze because I just didn't think I was gonna make it, but I did,
Wow.
and I made it. I made it quite substantially as well. I was quite impressed, to be fair.
Wow, that what a description of what a description that was. I would never have thought that that would be a case of having to build up weight just to get there. That was probably the most unique descriptions in terms of how to get there that I've ever heard. So
Well, that's just what my coach said. He
sure.
said, when you wake up in the morning, if you're under, he's like, don't go for a shit and don't have a wee. And I was like, well, I might have to have my first morning wee, otherwise I'll end up pissing myself on scales. But I did have to like neck some water and hold it in for a bit.
I mean, that would have been much worse when we talked about when you were like posing for your photo and you were still in your hoodie and everyone because remember we talked about
Yeah,
that.
that is literally what I was doing. Yep. Don't. I saw the picture yesterday. I was talking to my manager and I sent it him and I was like, I'm so scary, aren't I? Literally, me with pigtails in, looking like a 5-year-old child. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Me
but
with
you
coming
could
down
look
my
at.
leg would have been much more viral.
Oh gosh, but you know what? It could have been a thing where like where everyone else had prepped for you doing that. It could be like, ooh, who is this girl now? Like, ooh, okay,
Well,
I don't know.
everybody. I think on the Instagram post that Kingpyn put, they put obviously all the women's pictures on, and I think I was last, and then everybody in the comments was like, "Last girl is getting smoked," because I just literally looked like I was just. I don't even know. I did not look built for this at all.
Yeah.
And then I was like in the comments, like, I just didn't know they were taking photos. I swear I'm built for this. Trying to defend myself.
Well, you did. I guess you'll be more prepared next time, Ralph. For like, obviously
Oh
now
yeah.
with these upcoming weigh-ins, especially like the morning one, and then the celebration one as well for the
Next
weigh-in.
time I'm gonna have gold grills, chains on. I'm gonna be looking the part. I'm not gonna have nobody saying that I'm not built for this in the next ones. I'm gonna look like an absolute G, like a weapon of mass
You're too,
destruction.
you're making me think of Ali G when you said all that.
Yeah, that is literally what it's gonna be like. Ali G, it's gonna be
Yeah.
Amber O. So
Amber, oh wow! So you get like the do rag, you get the yellow
do
fubu,
rag. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna
You
wear
got all the gold
headphones around my
rings.
neck. Yep. West side is the best. I can't actually do it.
West side,
East side is the best.
west
Oh
side.
yeah,
Yeah,
West side.
I've had bad
That's
practice.
not
I've
it.
had bad practice. I used to watch a lot of 50 Cent back in the day. Then I got into hip hop. Then all this started coming out. I thought, yeah, cool. That's my life sorted on that one. So so just a couple other things before I let you go. So you were talking about like Astrid Wett earlier.
Yeah.
So obviously she's a champ at the moment in Misfits.
Mhm.
And obviously Alexa Grace at the press conference threw water at her, and
Yeah.
they've gone into scraps.
Yeah.
So I mean, naturally, it may seem the next best fit. I mean,
Mhm.
in terms of a fight, but I mean, how do you see that fight go? Should it be the case? And would you, obviously, building up with your fights and stuff, would it be a thing for you, being similar weight class? I feel for you and Astrid, would that be like
Mhm.
a fight that you would want to pursue for?
Oh, definitely. I would definitely want to fight Astrid for sure. I think if I was to drop weight, I'd absolutely thrive in the weight classes below because I do think Astrid is about 2 weight classes below the one I'm in at the minute. Um, so I do think I'd easily make the weight because, like I say, I've been having to really try hard to gain weight to be in this one, and I've still not even been in it. Like I've still been under. So I do think I'd be able to make the weight easily. But I'm friends with Alexia, so I have to root for Alexia. But I've never seen a box, so I can't really judge that one. But
Mm.
I don't think Astrid's up to scratch. To be fair, I don't think she's ever had a challenge. Obviously, she says she's 2-0, but I don't really think you can count the win against Keely as a bloody win. It was only like 10 seconds long, and Keely hadn't even trained. Obviously, yes, she fought AJ. That fight was very hard to judge. Like, and I think I remember the judging on that fight took forever. It literally took like 15 minutes. And I can see why, because it was very even. I thought it was going to be a draw, to be fair. But she came out absolutely battered. So she obviously took some solid shots, but she's a windmiller, and she fights like from the side. So you know, as long as Alexia trains properly and learns like the fundamentals, which I'm sure she does, because I know she's training at a really good gym, she could give her a run for her money. But you know, we don't know until we get out there. Obviously, this will be her first fight, so she'll be feeling a lot of the nerves that I felt on my first fight. And it is a completely different ball game when you're actually out there. So I have got my fingers crossed rooting for Alexia because she's my friend. And but yeah, you know, I do think Astrid possibly does have the upper hand in this one just because of the experience. But I really hope Alexia really comes through and batters her.
Well, I mean, with with Misfits 7 in general, like it was an exciting time. I mean, even with Kingpyn, like all the influencer boxing, scenes with Kingpyn and Misfits has just been exciting for me to watch as a spectator
Yeah.
for all of these fights. And I just hope that it continues to grow like even further. I mean, obviously there were talks, obviously when KSI was saying about don't just become a don't just become a boxer and not build on content.
Yeah.
What do you think, what do you make of that? Because obviously as it being influencer boxing, I mean, he has got a point. Is it's like if you're gonna go into boxing and not do content, then just be a pro boxer.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I mean, it's so difficult because I think a lot of people, especially men, like when they're getting into this industry, they give it their all and they train like professionals, and that's very time consuming. And I do think, and it's obviously it takes a lot of energy out of you. So I can understand wholeheartedly why people put their all into the boxing and don't have time for anything else. It's easily done. But I think, like you say, influencer boxer, you're a boxer because you're an influencer and you've got fans through your influencing, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, whatever. So it is important that if you want those fans to still support you, you've got to kind of keep it with your brand as well, and keep producing the content that got you the platform that you have to start with. But yeah, I can see how people get like almost blinded by the boxing because it, like I say, it's intense, it's hard work, and especially the men, they train like professionals, they train multiple times a day, most days of the week, so it's very easily done. But yeah, you've got to keep up with your content, haven't you? I found it quite hard, and I don't train as often as the men do. I think I only train every day, but like with my coach, maybe 3-4 times a week, and I do the rest on my own. So I do have time to make content. However, like I say, I can see how it's done. It's very easily done. But
Mm.
yeah, it's important to keep fan base, isn't it?
No, of course, 100%. And KSI versus Tommy Fury potentially as the next sort of big fight. I mean, nothing's set in stone yet, but it looks like it's headed towards there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see that going? Because obviously we've seen the results with what happened with KSI versus Joe Fournier, and obviously
Yeah,
Tommy Fury had beaten Jake Paul.
yeah.
So in this case, like, how do you honestly see that going in your opinion? I guess.
I love Tommy Fury, and I love Tyson Fury. So I want to naturally root for the Furies, but KSI at the minute just seems absolutely unstoppable. Like to knock out. I mean, I know it's been like disallowed now, but even before the elbow or the forearm or whatever the controversy is, he was battering him. Like he was getting smoked either way, whether it wasn't with the elbow or not. Like Joe was getting absolutely smoked. I just think the level that he must be at to produce that performance is just, I don't see many other influencers in this scene being able to stop that. Honestly, I don't. I think
Okay.
it'll be a very good fight though. Very
Yeah,
good.
no, I definitely feel like I feel for like JJ in particular, like I feel for him it would definitely be the biggest test as far as like the I'm not to take anything away from Joe Fournier, but I think in terms of Tommy Fury, in terms of where it's at, I think it's now like more on a level playing field. So yeah, this will be
Definitely.
to see where JJ will be at in terms of can he do what Jake Paul couldn't do, like
Mm-hmm.
in this case for real. So we'll see how that plays out.
Hopefully one day we'll get to see KSI Jake Paul because I think that will be the fight of the bloody century in terms of influencer boxing. That's what
Ho-
everyone wants. isn't it?
I mean, it's it's
They
difficult now
hate each
because
other, don't
yeah,
they?
they hate each other, but it's still. I mean, we've been waiting since 2018. It's now
Yeah,
2023, so it's been
been a long,
5 years
long
in
time.
waiting, and we're still waiting. So I don't
Yeah.
know if that will still be the case because I mean, with JJ, he's now really focusing on Tommy Fury as like the next
Hmm.
opponent. Negotiations going back and forth. I don't know if this is really truly going to happen, but it was something I'd like to see, but I don't know at
Yeah,
this point how it
definitely.
will play out now at this point because
I
you know
think at the minute, I think it would only happen if he lost to Tommy. I think that's possibly the only way it would work. If
mm,
JJ and Jake obviously lost, they'd probably fight each other. But I don't know.
mm,
Someone's stuck in somewhere, aren't they?
I don't know. I don't know. That's for the whole audience to see, and we'll figure out what happens down the line. Then, honestly, I want to thank you for your time first of all, and I also want to
Um,
thank you and Emily. Like I said before, for yeah, we'll be drawing close to 1 million views on that way in. So, and
Hey.
you going viral all over the place because of it. I wish you all the best with your fight with Whitney Johns. I pray and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get down to Dublin. So I'm hoping I could
Yeah.
do that. And if definitely the case, then I'll definitely catch up with you there. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, no, I wish you all the best. Is there anything you want to tell your fans before we get out of here?
Before we get out of here, no.
Straight no. What are you
I
saying?
go, no, mate. I think I've already said everything I need to say in the past 40 minutes. It's been talking.
Well, I mean, it's more so just like watch my fight and come see me, I guess. Then,
Oh,
eh?
yeah, watch my fight. Yeah, watch my fight. Watch my fight, and I'm going to smash you at pool.
You're gonna you. Oh, what was that you just said?
I'm going to smash you at pool.
Oh, you're gonna. Oh, well. Again, we'll talk about that on another day. But no, honestly,
Yeah,
I
I feel.
well, we'll see how it goes. No, but honestly, all jokes aside, I really do appreciate your time. I didn't realize how much time we went over, but I had so much fun chatting with you. And
Yeah, same. It's been fun.
yeah, no, this will definitely be like a podcast. I'll have to split it into
Yeah,
different parts then. But yeah, no, I wish you all the best, and hope to see you in Dublin. And yeah, and hope the training goes well, and keep killing it.
thank you. It's been lovely to talk to you, and I'll see you in Dublin. Woo!
Yay!